Welcome, Ji. Let us start to discuss about proxy pattern. What is a proxy pattern? And first, uh, proxy pattern is one of software design pattern, and this is used for just making some additional functionality on one of the existing object, you can say. So let's discuss what the proxy theory say, and let's also will write the code how we can implement this proxy pattern. So if you look at the theory, proxy is a kind of a wrapper or agent object that is used by client, okay, to access the real servicing object behind the scene. What do you mean? That means ki if we have one object that offers some set of services, okay, so client, this is the client, so he say client does not invoke directly your service, but there would be some agent, yeah, there would be some proxy. They talk to the proxy, and the proxy will talk to actual. So question is, why need a proxy? If we have a actual object that serve our purpose, so why need a proxy? We can client can directly invoke this. So proxy design patterns say you need proxy when you want to add some extra functionality. Let's give this offer some methods. You can execute any method, but I want some kind of a condition check. Means ki before invocation of this method I want to do something, or after invocation of this method I want to do something, or we have to check some credential. So that means ki proxy pattern say you can invoke uh, any real serving object method, but apart from that you can add some extra functionality like checking pre or post conditions. You want before invoking any real methods, you have to check the access rights, you have to check the particular conditions, or maybe after completions of your operation, let's might be want to some cleanup, you want to some database operations, anything. So this proxy patterns offer a place where as a service proxy provider can provide a facility where we can add these conditions, or even let's key the actual functions which we are calling that will take large times, yeah, very CPU extensive. That might be case we can cache the result. So majorly we are using to checking pre post condition. That means ki before invoking any method I want to do something, maybe I want to log something, I want to check something condition, or after method operation invocation I want to do something. Or second way you can use the cache the operations result of the real object. Reason why? Maybe the real object will take resource intensive. So the simple meaning of proxy say proxy is an object that can work behalf of another real entity. So client can not directly work with the actual object, but cliently can work with your proxy, and proxy can internally invoke the your actual servicing method. But before invoking, they can set some preconditions, some blockage for any other functionality, or after operation functionality you want to do something. Maybe you want to cache the result if this will take time consuming operations. So that the situation and scenario, generally we can write a proxy. So let us write a code and understand how the proxy pattern works. So here, let us say we have like one interface. Let's get real object. This is one real object, and let's see they have some method like a string do something, do something. Okay, and let us here we have a one method that does action. And this method need a real object. So here say object dot do something. Okay, so this, so whenever anyone to do actions, they have to pass your real object. So let's here a class actual real object, actual real object. Let's implement your real object. Okay, and give a some return. Okay, let's assume कि this will take some time consuming operation. So let's we have say wait some time, wait slips, let's give 3 second slips. Okay, let's try catch. So let's see, whenever someone invoke, let's key call actual real operation. Okay, and just return let's see result from actual real object. Okay, so anyone want to invoke this, so they have to implement. Let's if you want to someone use this, so let's real object equal to generally say new actual real object and invoke. Let's do actions and then do actions of perform real. So in this way, anyone, this is the simple way. There is a one actual object. If a manager client just want to invoke the do something, so they have a just instantiate the actual object, invoke something, uh, but it will take some costly times and return the value. What happen if want to do one more time or two more times, so always it will take some time, because this will the costly operation or resource intensive operations. Okay, so it will take some times and result again take some times and result. So here, and let's keep before invoking this function, I want to check some permission, check some access grant available or not this object. So this kind of additional functionality I want to add. So actually maybe this one, this actual implementation is provided by any third party, but I want to use. So instead of exposing directly our actual object is by your client code, I can write one a proxy. So I say instead of real object, I say class proxy, proxy of real object, and let's also implement your real object. Okay, but here I proxy doesn't know what the actual implementation of this. So in anyhow they keep the references of this object. Okay, references, and whenever this object is in let's initialize, you can initialize maybe inside the constructor. Let's I initialize inside the constructor. Okay, so now now we have options here. Proxy have a actual real object. Before invoking, let's key I want to invoke here dot do something. Now here proxy help us, you can perform something pre or post. Let's here want to perform kind of a, so I want to perform precondition check condition. Let's key x, is it is allow, maybe precondition check, maybe access check or anything else. So here we have a place here, whatever the condition you want to check you can allow. Let's key after uh, uh, let's key whenever you invoke actual operations, after that maybe you want to post condition, maybe post condition you want to so store the result or cache the result. Okay, store or cache result, some kind of operation. So here let's key I'm instead of storing, let's going to store in a one result cache. Let's key string cache of re- cache result of real object. Okay, so this is the key. Whenever this, let's if we say if this equal to null, okay, then you can invoke this and store the result as doesn't do, and then the result the return. So here proxy doesn't do anything, just a proxy have a actual object of real. So before invoking this, they offer a place you can check some preconditions, some access granted, maybe some logging, anything. And after invocation of real object, you can do something extra, maybe post cache object, store in database, and anywhere. So here the client which use, they don't know, just pass me the real object, I am invoked to do something. So here instead of instantiating this, let's key instantiate with a proxy. Okay, and now let's invoke many times. Let us they need a in actual object a proxy. Okay, or you can say, so in this, see what the proxy say. Proxy say we need a excuse me, we need also actual object which I am proxy of. So this is the proxy of real object, but this do action look like a same, but these here they are doing some added functionality, not like simply directly invoke the client. Okay, and now let's run. Excuse me. So your actual call, then wait for 3 seconds, call and wait for 3 seconds. Here proxy call and they return quick result. First perform some pre-check and result. Similarly pre-check and post-check, then result. Pre-check and post-check result. They are just cache the result, so they are response quickly. They are not each call waiting 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, if you just comment it out here, just first time Just the first time it will invoke one actual call. After first time invoke actual call, pre-check, then invoke actual call. After that they cache the store, and after each next call, they just return the result. They just return the result. Just perform pre-check and post-check. So this way you can implement proxy design pattern. Proxy design pattern say whatever your real operations. Okay, so instead of invoking direct real operation from client, you just wrap those real object inside your proxy object. So this is a proxy object. Okay, inside the proxy object you just store your real object, and before invoking your real operations you can do some pre-check and some post-check and some caching, whatever you want. Okay, so this is the simplest design pattern. Just say कि whenever you want to invoke some actual operations, before that you want to do something, and after that you want to do something, use a proxy. Okay, so here we are using the proxy design pattern. We are saying कि whenever we are going to invoke actual service method, before that I want to do something, and after that I want to do something, and then result the result whatever proxy return. So this is the theory say. Okay, you can use proxy as a wrapper, or just like a agent object that is called behind the client access to real servicing object. Before invoking your servicing operations, okay, before invoking service operations, you can do some check, pre-check or post-check, and even you can catch the result if your real object resource are resource intensive. So this is the things we have implemented. Implementation is very simple. You just write one proxy class, just implement same like your actual object. In this your do action method, they don't know you are here passing me proxy object or actual object. जैसे कि we have a real object and I just invoke the do something. But here don't know you are passing a maybe proxy or real. So here we want some additional functionality before invoking your do something. So I pass your proxy of real object. A proxy of real object just holding the actual object, and before invoking actual operation, they some pre-check and they perform some post-check. That is the proxy. Proxy is just a place holder for developer. You want to do something before proxy operation invocation or after proxy invocation. That is the design pattern. Okay, so it's hope now you are clear how you can implement a proxy design pattern. Proxy is a very simple design patterns. This just create one class, and whatever the actual object you want to, let's this actual object, just hold the references, and before invoking your actual service call you perform some setup precondition, and after actual service call you perform some setup operations. So this is the just proxy pattern. So before invoking actual method operations, you just do some pre condition and post condition, maybe result caching, whatever you want. The proxy pattern is very simple and easiest way to use. We have do nothing else, just hold the reference of actual object here and invoke the actual operations. But before invoking actual operation, you do some setup steps. Yeah, after do some setup steps. And nowadays, these proxy patterns are used heavily and heavily. Lots of example you say about the proxy pattern use. Just like uh, whenever you think about the agent a client code, okay, let's key in our company we are accessing internet, okay, we can access any kind of uh, application, any kind of uh, uh, google.com, facebook.com, anything you can access here. But let's key our company have some set of policy. They want ki each employee only allow a set of restricted website, or set of website cannot be accessed, maybe blocked. So if here company implements something proxy, say implement proxy networks, each employee are connecting with a proxy before hitting actual website. Company web proxy check this is allowable or it's a blocked website or not. So in many company you find you can access the restricted set of website. You cannot access all the website in our company. Not allow anything illegal website you can access. So that is implemented by proxy design pattern. Just before uh, forwarding your request to actual website, our company proxy pattern helps something pre-check. Before you want to access any URL, just they want to check this URL is granted a permission by my company or not. If not permission, it's blocked and return to you. You cannot call. If allow, it's just forwarded. So as a end customer, we don't know we are we just thinking we are using the actual google.com. But before that, this request is trash. Maybe after login, I want to do something. So multiple places you find the proxy design pattern use. So lots of example you can imagine about just proxy means before whatever client want to use the actual object, before that you want to do some setup operation. So you don't allow anyone directly access this, but you say it come from proxy, and proxy checks some precondition and post condition. If proxy satisfied the condition, it's allowed to invoke. If proxy not satisfied, just disallow. So that is about the proxy design pattern. And please take some example, write some example, and then you feel comfortable. That's so simple. Proxy design pattern heavily used in many places. If you have work about the spring or any AOP aspect oriented programmings, they support precondition and post condition. You want to do something, that is the proxy. Okay, so let us I close this discussion. Again, here I am like to say thank you for watching this video.